Alright everybody, and welcome back to the Goodie Pantry. Today we're going to be making a bloomer bread, and there's all the ingredients on the screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. Let's get straight into it. So here's all of my ingredients. So I've got my flour. This is strong white bread flour. I've got my warm water, 300 ml. Got 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 7 grams of yeast, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So first thing I'm going to do is go to get the salt and mix that into the flour. Make sure you give each stage of this a good mix, just so it can be evenly spread out amongst the flour. Then we're going to go with the sugar, and we're just going to do the same thing. Okay, now we're going to go in with our yeast, and we're just going to do the same thing as we did before. The reason to give it a good mix is because you don't want the salt to really come in contact with the flour, so make sure you thoroughly mix every ingredient. Okay, so I'm going to do mine in a standard mixer. If you don't have one, or if you prefer doing it by hand, absolutely do. Just repeat this, just do the steps exactly the same, but by hand. So we've got our water going in first, then we've got our olive oil. Now, I'm using extra virgin olive oil, but regular olive oil works just as good. Okay, now I'm going to go in with our dry ingredients and just put them all in together. You don't have to do this part in stages. Okay, now I'm going to set that away to start on the low setting, just to give the flour and the liquid a chance to bind. And then after about 2 minutes, the mix will start to look like this. So at this point, I can see on mine, there's a little bit stuck slightly at the bottom. So I'm just going to switch this off. And then with a spatula, I'm just going to move that part around on the bottom, just to lift it off the bowl. And then when you set it away again, it'll be absolutely fine. So now we're going to set this away again, and this time I'm going to crank it up now to a medium speed. And there, as you can see, all the dough is now incorporated with everything, and it's starting to make the ball clean. So we're going to leave this now for the other 8 minutes. And then after the 8 minutes, that's how your dough will look after its full 10-minute knead. Okay, so we're going to switch that off. Make sure you clean down your dough hook and get all your excess bread off. And we're just going to put the cloth over that, and I'm going to leave that in a warm place for 1 hour. I recommend the oven with the light on, or if you have a prover sitting on your oven, even better. Or just get your house to a good temperature. So there it is after the hour. You can see this is more than doubled in size. It's come up really nice. So first thing I'm going to do now is just get a little bit of flour on your bench. And you're going to tip your dough out, and you want the sticky side up. So the sticky side will have been the underneath part, what was touching the bowl. Start knocking your dough back. Make sure you get all the air out of it. And then once you've got that done, we're going to get this into a ball. Now this is the way I'm going to do it. I fold it in at the sides. And then from the corner, I just keep pulling it over and pushing it back. And then turn it over, and then just start rolling it around until you get it into a nice consistent ball shape. Once you've got that done, lay a cloth over it just for 5 minutes. Then after the 5 minutes, you can now start to maneuver it into your oblong shape. Now the reason you give it 5 minutes is because look how easy it was just to turn that from a circle into an oblong. If you give it that little 5 minutes, it won't be as tight, and it'll let you maneuver it. Once you've gotten it to your desired shape, then you want to get it on your tray. Now you can use a grease tray, or like what I'm using a silicone mat. Now these silicone mats work really well. Okay, then I'm going to dust it with a little flour and just gently rub that all over the top of the dough. Then we're going to cover it with a cloth, and we're just going to leave this again for another hour. Again, in a warm place, either in your oven, or just make sure your house is nice and warm. Okay, so the oven's set 180 on fan, and here I've got a tray of water, and I'm just going to put that in the bottom because you want some steam. So here's our bread after the second hour, well 55 minutes, because we're going to do some scoring. So I've got my baker's blade here, so you're just going to make indentations from left to right to put some nice score marks in there. This will help with the expansion of the bread, but it'll also just give a nice aesthetical look. So you're going to make your score marks, and then if you're happy with that, you can do it, or you can do like what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same score mark twice because I like the nice big gaps in the bread. And then once you've got that done, just sprinkle them with a little extra flour like you did before, just to make sure you can get into those cuts and crevices. And then we're going to take this, and we're now going to bake this at 180 for 25 to 30 minutes. So here's the bread after the 25th mark. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pick this back up, and I'm going to put this back in the oven for the last 5 minutes, just on its own on the tray, because I want the underneath to crisp just as much as the top. And there it is after the 30 minutes. Now, really crunchy, really nice looking bread. It's soft and fluffy on the inside. Works an absolute treat. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icons. All my videos are now going to be going up on Thursdays instead of Fridays. But as long as you've got that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as the videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.